In the world of 1980s sports cars, names like the Nissan Z, Mazda RX-7, and Toyota Supra often dominate the conversation. But there's one car that deserves just as much recognition, the Mitsubishi Starion. This turbocharged, rear-wheel drive coupe was a technological marvel of its time, but missed the spotlight. The Starion's story begins in 1982 when Mitsubishi Motors launched it as their flagship sports car. The name Starion itself has an interesting origin. Mitsubishi claims it's a combination of star and Arion, a mythical horse from Greek legends. However, some sources suggest it might have been a mispronunciation of stallion by Japanese engineers. Whatever the case, the Starion galloped onto the global automotive stage with impressive credentials. At its core, the Starion was a Grand Tourer, or GT car, designed to compete with the best from Japan and beyond. It featured a front-engine, rear-wheel drive layout, a classic sports car configuration. But what set the Starion apart was its use of turbocharging and electronic fuel injection, making it one of the first modern Japanese performance cars to embrace these technologies. The Starion's body was a sleek, wedge-shaped design typical of 80s sports cars. It started life as a narrow-body model, but later versions introduced a wide-body variant that gave the car an even more aggressive stance. The wide body wasn't just for looks. It allowed for wider wheels and tires, improving the car's handling and performance. Under the hood, the Starion offered different engine options depending on the market. In Japan and most other countries, it came with a 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine known as the Sirius G63B. American buyers, however, got a larger 2.6-liter Astron G54B engine. Both were turbocharged, with power outputs ranging from 145 to 197 horsepower, depending on the specific model and year. One of the most interesting variants was the Japanese market GSR-V, produced from 1984 to 1987. This model featured a unique 12-valve version of the 2.0-liter engine dubbed the dual-action superhead or dash. This clever piece of engineering could activate a third intake valve at higher RPMs, boosting top-end performance and allowing the engine to rev up to 7,000 revolutions per minute. The Starion wasn't just sold as a Mitsubishi. In North America, it was also marketed under Chrysler's various brands as the Conquest. You could buy it as a Dodge Conquest, Plymouth Conquest, or Chrysler Conquest, depending on the year. This was part of Chrysler's partnership with Mitsubishi, which saw several Japanese-designed cars sold under American brands. Inside, the Starion offered a driver-focused cockpit with a 2+2 seating layout. The front seats were highly adjustable, with features like lumbar support and variable angle side bolsters, quite advanced for the time. Later models even had power windows that would stay operational for 30 seconds after the engine was turned off. A small but luxurious touch. The Starion wasn't just about straight line speed, it was designed to handle well too. The suspension used McPherson struts up front and independent rear suspension with sway bars at both ends. Many models came standard with a limited slip differential and even anti-lock brakes on the rear wheels, cutting-edge technology for the early 80s. Over its production run from 1982 to 1989, the Starion saw several updates and improvements. The introduction of the wide-body variant in 1986 was perhaps the most significant. It didn't just change the car's looks. It also brought an intercooler to the turbocharger setup, boosting power and improving efficiency. In the United States, the final 2 years of production saw the introduction of the Sports Handling Package, or SHP. This option added adjustable front and rear struts and wider wheels, further enhancing the Starion's already impressive handling capabilities. But the Starion wasn't just a road car. It also had a significant presence in motorsports, competing successfully in various racing series around the world. In circuit racing, the Starion proved its mettle in Group A and Group N categories. It was particularly successful in endurance racing, with Team Mitsubishi winning the grueling longest day of Nelson Ledge's 24-hour race in the United States 4 years in a row, from 1984 to 1987. The Starion also made its mark in rally racing. Mitsubishi developed an all-wheel drive version for the infamous Group B category of the World Rally Championship. Unfortunately, Group B was banned before the Starion four-wheel drive could be homologated, cutting short what could have been an exciting rally career. Despite the setback in Group B, the Starion continued to compete in other rally events. It achieved victories in the Group A World Rally Championship and the Asia Pacific Rally Championships in 1987 and 1988. The all-wheel drive technology developed for the Starion would later influence Mitsubishi's legendary Lancer Evolution series. In circuit racing, the Starion continued to shine. In the United Kingdom, driver Andy McLennan achieved numerous race wins in a Simmons drum-sponsored Starion, even winning a Monroe championship. In the Netherlands, John Hugenholtz clinched the over 2-liter class victory in the Dutch Championship, driving a Starion prepared by noted tuner Colin Blower. The Starion's success wasn't limited to Europe. In Japan, it competed in the prestigious Japanese Touring Car Championship, scoring several podium finishes and race wins between 1985 and 1988. Its best championship result came in 1986, when it finished second overall in the All-Japan Touring Car Championship. Perhaps the Starion's most impressive motorsport achievements came in the United States. Dave Wolin's team Mitsubishi dominated endurance racing with their Starions. The team's cars, powered by turbocharged 2.6-liter engines built by Lotus engine guru Dave Vager, were nearly unbeatable in long-distance events. The highlight of Team Mitsubishi's success was their incredible 4-year winning streak at the longest day of Nelson Ledge's 24-hour race from 1984 to 1987. This grueling event tested both man and machine to their limits, and the Starion proved more than up to the challenge. The team also clinched 3 Sports Car Club of America, SCCA, U.S. Endurance Championships during this period, competing against factory-backed efforts from automotive giants like Chrysler, Audi, Nissan, and Mazda. One particularly memorable moment came in the 1985 Nelson Ledges race. The team Mitsubishi Starion suffered heavy rollover crash damage during the event, but in a testament to the car's durability and the team's determination, they managed to repair the car using chicken wire as a makeshift windshield and went on to win the race. The Starion's competition success wasn't limited to professional teams. It also proved popular with amateur racers in SCCA events. The car won the SCCA Showroom Stock, a national championship in 1986, 1988, and 1990, demonstrating its competitiveness even in near-stock form. In Australia, the Starion also left its mark. In 1984, Peter Fitzgerald and Brad Jones finished first and second outright in the Australian Super Series. The following year, Kevin Bartlett and Peter McKay piloted a Starion to a respectable 9th place overall and second in class at the legendary James Hardy 1000 at Bathurst. The Starion's rallying efforts, while not as extensive as its circuit racing program, still yielded impressive results. The all-wheel drive Starion prototype, developed for the ill-fated Group B category, showed promise in several events. It finished second in the 1986 Hong Kong-Beijing Rally and won the 1987 Himalayan Rally. Despite its on-track success and technological sophistication, the Starion's time in the spotlight was relatively short-lived. Production ended in 1989, after just 7 years. By then, Mitsubishi was shifting its focus to new models, including the all-wheel drive GTO, sold as the 3000 GT in some markets, and the Eclipse models. However, the Starion's legacy lived on. The experience gained from developing and racing the Starion, particularly in rallying, would prove invaluable in the creation of future Mitsubishi performance cars. The most notable of these was the Lancer Evolution, which would go on to dominate the World Rally Championship in the 1990s and early 2000s. Today, the Mitsubishi Starion occupies an interesting place in automotive history. While it may not have the same name recognition as some of its contemporaries, those in the know recognize it as a pioneering performance car that was ahead of its time in many ways.